Hello everyone. So let's talk about SpecGhost. So as we all know that an API can return status 200 and still break real users. So SpecGhost is an AI powered tool that I have built to catch those invisible regressions before they can even reach production. So traditional APIs will check for the schemas and status codes, but what they miss is the promise between the lines. So for example, user will update a task but without supplying a due date. So this is what the UI looks like, and then first step is to analyze the intent. We have an API contract, and SpecGhost will identify the behavioral promises, optional fields, partial updates, dates, etc. And you can supply an OpenAI key to analyze your intent. The second step is to introduce regression. So let's say an engineer will remove an optional field from the due date. So what happens is the endpoint remains the same, but the confidence drops from 92 to 58. And then when you go down and see, you can compare the contracts from version 1 to version 2. You can see what are the risks, and it will also tell you that keep due date optional, which is like required. The next step is once, let's say, we have this issue and there is no guarantee that this issue does not happen in the future. So how do we protect that? So in order to protect that, we have two things. One is to save a snapshot. Let's say, okay, I've saved a snapshot of this current status, like requiring optional field mandatory. And then you can also do a forge test suits to see that what is all required. Then the uh, second last step would be to review the pull request. So SpecGhost also works with the pull request level. So here I have the differences loaded here, and then when I review a pull request, it will tell that what is blocking it, or like what is the risk score and everything like that. The next ones are like for CI CD pipeline, so you can copy the CI jobs, also the comment, and you can run checks against a given target. You can download a report, and then the final step would be to um, um, as I've shown earlier, so you can see what are the risks and what is the risk score when you compare the contracts after the changes. So at the end, I can just tell that SpecGhost is not simply a dashboard. It will ship with zero dependency CLI and GitHub Actions workflows as well, and it turns API release safety from a schema checking problem into user impact problem. And this is built extensively with Codex and using 5.6 versions of GPT. Thank you.